Good morning, everyone. Recently, what I've been doing is reliving my trauma experience with the cancer journey and trying to get all those feelings out with my therapist. And one of the questions that she has posed to me on a few occasions is, what helped you the most? Who helped you the most? And what were you needing during those times? And the most daunting question that a cancer patient, as in my experience, has been, what can we do for you? And I always appreciated the question, but it would also bring about a search within yourself that you just don't know what you need because you've never done it before, especially if it's the first time you've had cancer. And it was just such a daunting question, but I loved it and I appreciated it. I'm glad it was asked, but at the same time, just a difficult question to answer. I didn't know what I needed, and I'm only just now starting to figure out what it was that I needed. So at the time, I would answer my friends and just say, please just check up on me. Please keep communicating with me. I was going through it during COVID, so people were not technically supposed to come over with my weakened immune system and chemotherapy, because you're very susceptible to being able to catch things in an unknown situation. And basically no one having immunity to that virus. And the hospital I had worked at, we had 265 cases a day of COVID and multiple people on ventilators, even young people almost dying from it. So it was of the utmost importance for me to kind of stay away from people because I just didn't know what was going on. Nobody did. But how I would answer that question when my friends would ask, I would just say, keep checking up on me, keep doing like video conferences with me and Zoom and stuff like that. I mean, that's really what I thought I needed, because I'm a quality time person. I like to spend time with people. That's, I guess, my love language. If you're familiar with the love languages, is quality time. That's my number one. And now that I've processed a lot, what I found helped me the most was my husband crying with me when we were reaching a potential diagnosis of having cancer, and just how it was looking kind of grim. And just being able to share those emotions with someone was probably the best thing. One of my friends also broke down and cried with me. She cried and I didn't cry. I was actually strong for her, which happens a lot during cancer as well. You end up being strong for other people because people are just, they don't know what to do. And why would you know? What do? You support someone in their choices and hope for the best. You don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's going to happen. But when she cried, that helped me. And I think it's because what I really needed was to know that I was loved and that my presence meant something in somebody's life, and that I would be missed if I were gone. I think that's the things that I probably wanted to know, but how do you demonstrate that? And for me, it would also be words, like just saying it. But you also don't want to say that to people when they're going through it. It's a very difficult thing. It's like, we know your life's at risk. How do you say, I would miss you if you were gone? Without saying, like, I really hope you don't die. When we all know that's the biggest threat. But knowing that people were having those kind of reactions to my situation actually helped me feel not alone. And it's because cancer treatment can be very lonely because you're the one going through it. Other people are having their experiences too, because they might lose you, but you might lose you, which is extremely terrifying. And just to know and to have someone to cry with was super helpful. And I just I guess you feel so alone because you're the one going through it, and to know you're not alone and to be falling apart with someone does actually help. Does that mean every time you're with someone you should be falling apart? Man, I would hope not. I mean, but just to know that people had those kind of reactions was actually very helpful. Now that I'm looking back, I didn't know in the moment that that's what it was, but when I look back at the most helpful things, just knowing that people were able to fall apart with me, or to, I guess, bare their soul to me, actually helped, because it was like, yeah, we're all gonna potentially maybe lose something. I don't know what's gonna happen. So that's my experience. Other people don't want these kind of things at all, and that's why it's a great question to ask. What do you need? But at the same time, someone might not know what they need because they've never done this before. Hindsight's always 20/20. You always know when you look back and you're asked the right questions, like what helped you the most during your treatment. And for me, it was that. I think at the time we weren't, I was still following a very restricted diet, so it was hard to accept food, but I think people would really appreciate that. Also with COVID, it was just probably not the best thing to offer. It was just a weird time, 2021. And so that's my limited experience on what did I need. I think I just needed to know people loved me and that they could say, I love you. Oh my gosh, and just someone being able to break with me so that I wouldn't have been alone. Because that was probably what I really needed. I think that's what I'm learning from talking about the trauma experience with my therapist. So in the future, if you have someone going through this, you can ask them. But I definitely think you should tell someone. I don't know, I can't say that because some people don't like to be told. Don't tell me your goodbyes or whatever. I think the question is wonderful. I just think the response is going to be different for everyone. But I needed to know that. That's what I needed to know. And I appreciate the people that gave that to me. Very thankful for my husband through the entire experience. All right, take care.